presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour. On this day, we've got a market that is toying with breaking support. We're right, well, just, I'm going to call it 10, 12 points on the S&P cash underneath the support levels that we've seen here for a little while. Kind of the bottom of that is 38.42. We're at 38.35 on the last tick here. So we've got a little bit of problems right here in River City. What else do we have here? Do this here. Got to update this, which I will do now on the fly. I was busy today. So we'll put this up and get it all updated here. I was busy all morning. NVIDIA had their dog and pony. And I wanted to see what was going on, mostly because we had the one and only. Oh, I have forgotten, haven't I? I will slap my hands myself. But we always come here at the appointed time. And of course, literally everything has decided to be somewhat, where is that at there? Okay. There's options, system. That's right. Okay. Anyway, let's try it again here. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. We meet at the appointed time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So, let's go ahead and get that cleaned up. We'll get back on track here. As I said, NVIDIA had their dog and pony, and since so much of the work I do on machine learning and other things revolve around having an NVIDIA card, as I'm going to say they're the de facto monopoly on machine learning. Some other folks like Amazon or Google may make their own chip, but everything is centered around, when the first to market, as NVIDIA was, with having a library that allowed people to do machine learning. Sometimes they call it AI. I hate AI as a description because there is no artificial intelligence. It's decisions made on statistics, which sounds to me more like machine learning statistics instead of artificial intelligence. Anyway, not a big move out here. And of course, one of the things I thought, interestingly enough, was that we'd have somebody like Jim Cramer.
Bring me the head of the false prophet, Jim Cramer.
Yes. And why is that important? Well, he makes so many bonehead decisions and leads his flock into damnation regularly. He's very easy because you've got a lot of people that watch him, especially people just getting home from work that don't trade during the day and really haven't learned to trade markets. They tend to be fairly new. But he's driven a lot of stocks to sky-high levels only to see them crater or go bankrupt later. That happens to all of us. The difference is his megaphone is so big that it is problematic. He can cause a hurricane all by himself. Anyway, I thought it was very interesting that last night, before the big dog and pony, he's the one out here going short NVIDIA. It was a 192.74 on August 4th. And now it's down around 130 and he wants to short it. No stocks too expensive to buy and no stocks too cheap to sell. But I don't understand any kind of risk reward of shorting at the lows. But again, I don't have a big time television show on CNBC where I regularly tell people to do probably stupid stuff. But that was the beginning of it. I thought that was interesting last night, going into a dog and pony where you don't know what people are going to actually show. For the most part, I don't think anybody knew. But anyway, so I sat through NVIDIA's demonstration. Now, they do talk about new products that they have. And I'm going to say that if it was 1/10 of the presentation, that would probably be about right. Maybe 15% was them talking about new video cards that they're going to be selling. Most of it was software that you could use with what they sell and new types of machine learning technology. I was hoping for something that they would touch on. There's a couple things that may come out this week. This was just the keynote, but I was hoping for something that I could use for machine learning for finance. Most of this was graphic oriented, but I do have to say that it's very interesting response from people on NVIDIA in that their card's going to cost $200 more for basically the same product. The difference is that they're twice as fast, maybe 4 times as fast in some operations. So their flagship, which will go on sale October 12th, is going to be $1,600, and a lot of people had rumored it was going to be $1,500. So they're up in the air, up in the arms on YouTube about $100 more expensive. But that same product for a suggested retail was about the same a year ago and twice as slow or half as slow. So it's very tough. There aren't a lot of products that are coming out where you pay the same amount or maybe 10% more and you get 100 or 200 or 300 or 400% more. But the video card business may be, the GPU business may be that one segment in which Moore's Law is rapidly catching up. Now, they showed a lot of interesting stuff, and it wasn't Ethereum, and it wasn't Bitcoin, and right now, that's all people are focused on. I don't know, and nobody does know where the low is in NVIDIA. All I can tell you is I like to know where the puck is going, not where it's been, and I have to tell you, these guys have the army behind them with partners and software. Now, maybe it's not as big as the Bitcoin business, but I don't think they're going out of business anytime soon. That's generally what I look at shorting, or people in big problems, and I don't short them at the low. We'll be back in a minute.
Of booming inflation, where your purchasing power is eroded, there's no better place to protect your hard-earned money than in gold. Vista Gold's flagship asset is the Mount Todd Gold Project in the Northern Territory of Australia. This is Australia's largest undeveloped gold project. We are talking a world-class gold project in a Tier 1 mining district. This is a large-scale, low-cost project with significant existing infrastructure in a politically safe and friendly mining jurisdiction. Vista Gold just completed the Mount Todd feasibility study, which resulted in a 7 million ounce gold reserve and a 16-year mine life. All of this, combined with the approvals of all major operational as well as environmental permits. This distinguishes Mount Todd as an attractive, de-risk partner, ready development stage gold project Vista Gold trades on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol VGZ.
Are you grinding in the market, but seeing little to no return? Or are you a successful trader, simply looking to make your job a little easier? Learn to take the path of least resistance with David White's powerful trading newsletter. David White is an accomplished trader whose deep understanding of technology and the markets allows him to consistently find and share winning trades. Support and resistance define the ranges in which stocks trade. By understanding these trading ranges, David White is able to find the path of least resistance. David White's trading newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, is delivered daily before the markets open to make every trading day an easy win. Visit TFNN.com today and subscribe to David White's Ultimate Trading Newsletter for $119 a month. And try all of our newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Take the path of least resistance at TFNN, educating investors. Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when the markets open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today and try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And we get back. First question of the day is taking a look at Diana Shipping. First low out here is July 6th. $4.18, 1.1 million shares. You get into that candle just barely on September 8th, and you get a bounce. Energy was about the same on the way up from that July 6th low to the August 4th high. Now it's back down here. The volume was less, which is good. Again, I don't look for V-shaped bottoms if the energy on the way up and down is either the same. I look for V-shaped bottoms if the energy off the highs back to the lows tends to be a whole lot less. And not a bad chart. You got some decent volume at the highs, 3.75 million shares. That was the August 4th high. So you've got something to shoot for. That's good. Now you're going back into it. Yesterday was 636,000 shares, which is okay. Today, 527,000 shares. So you're just underneath it. So do I like the pattern here? Yes. Would I buy it? Not unless it closed back over the 3x3. That would be the signal out here to say that, yes, that this would be some kind of double repo bottom that you may be wanting to buy. So I would look at that. Let's see if I'm doing that right. Okay. So what is this? You're in the zone here. You know, what I'd like to see is maybe into Thursday or late tomorrow that this starts getting back over here and break the trend line, and you get above it, and then you just set your stop on a 9-day or a as I said, I like the 3x3 because it actually gives you the numbers that you're looking for ahead of time. That's $4.74 for the 22nd. So that'd be Thursday. So it's not that big, but generally what you'll have is if this is some kind of bottom, you come back through, the next move through this will be a huge candle, and it will have decent volume, and you will know you've made some kind of low. So I like the setup, but that's it. DSX, okay. DXY could be a Denapoli setup. Let me bring that up here real quick. Take a quick low. I don't know what time frame Miss Dudette is talking about. So let's go to, I don't really like short-term ones on that. So let's go to 1 month. That's the euro. Let's go to the DX version of it. I mean, that's a pretty potent chart there for the dollar index. For a daily. Okay, let's look at the daily. Yeah, I see what you're looking at here. What you would need is to, does this, do they allow you to put this on a moving average? There's all kinds of stuff you can paint and do stuff here. There's your thing. I don't know if they have a moving average on this, on the dollar. I'll have to look at it during the break. Maybe they do. Select layout. I don't think they do. Anyway, I like using investing.com for the dollar because I don't trade currencies, so doesn't spend a lot of time. It's, I think, within a second or two of being real time, so it's free. We've been teetering right at 110 here, so I do like the idea when you're looking at the daily out here of seeing probably what is, my guess is you're going to have, if you just put it on a night, they don't have anything there, do they? Area, candles, save chart layout. I don't see anything there. I don't know. I'll see if I can't figure this out during the break. But I mean, this is kind of the idea of the pattern. You're probably coming back over the 3x3, starting here on, what is that? Does this also show a date? Doesn't show a date, really. Oh, it does down there at the bottom. Okay, so you're looking at this thing probably breaking above on the 18th. So that gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 days above probably the trend line. You get a handful of days below of it. You probably have gone back above it on today. So yeah, any downturn, and that would be it. And of course, if you have one of these Joe DiNapoli style 3x3 repos, and I'll confirm that if I can during the break. The idea is that it generally goes back to where it would start. And in this case, I'm taking a rough guess, it'd probably be in the low 106s. So you could go from 106 to, 110 to 106 if that would to break. Now, generally what you don't want to do on these is forecast or predict that it does it. You want to act on it actually doing it because them actually turning into those is not a high percentage. What is a high percentage is when you break back down now is that you get a huge move with, and that's handled generally in a fourth of the days. So if you were up this way for 15 days, you could find yourself back at 106 in 4 days, maybe even less on some. Some I've seen it give it up in 3 days on these when these are particularly light. So I do like the pattern. I'll see if I can't find any way of putting it on it. Maybe somebody in the den can throw one up if they have the ability to put just a 9-day moving average on it on the daily. Or maybe they can put that chart in there for me. As again, I'm not a big dollar trader, currency trader, but do like the setup. 877-927-6648. Okay, other things going on. I got a couple of people emailing me on other things. We looked at Diana's shipping. We talked about NVIDIA. I'm just saying that where everybody sees a bear market, sometimes there's a bright horizon. I've been writing about that, I think, bright horizon on lower prices for AMD and NVIDIA in the Tech Insider. And I think this may be the golden age of computer gaming. And one of the reasons why is there's going to be probably a very short period here. I'm going to say it probably runs through Christmas, where you're going to be able to buy last year's top-of-the-line equipment for significantly less than retail. We'll talk a little bit of this when we come back. AMD, just slightly lighter volumes out here, but 7160, I would like to test that. We'll be back in a minute.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And I figured out during the break to put a 9-day on it, which is fairly close to the 3x3. I just like the 3x3 because it does extend out 3 days. And I know those numbers already. I don't have to look at the chart to figure it out, depending on what happened. But very good call on Dudette in the den out here. I was maybe just, 30 cents high on that. You actually broke through the 9-day, and that was the big candle right there on the way back up. That was on the 15th of August. So there's your move. You get the whole thing back up here to the top. The pattern is 10 to 15 days. Sometimes you get more on that. So on this one, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Then you close below it. You get 2 days. You get back above it. You get a handful of days moving over here. Generally, you only get it 2 or 3 days, though. So I could see how this would extend with the Fed. It can pull on the market a little bit. But the number you're looking for probably is somewhere around 109.40. And you get a move below that. About 80% of the time, you're going to get a move. And my guess would be the next close would be down in the mid 108s if that was to break. Again, it's not a prediction. It is one of these things where you want to look at that and go, okay, it's starting to move down. It's starting to move down with a lot of volume, and it's going to break that level. Once it does, it is the train's left the station. It's going to move fairly well. And like I said, about 80% of the time, you're going to find that it goes back and gets back to the beginning of this. In this case, I thought it was going to be 106.25 just from eyeballing it. It looks to me like maybe 105.80, 105.75, something like that. So, yeah, that is a beautiful setup. Not something that we want to anticipate, but you do want to take a look at it. But double repo patterns work very good on stocks. They work even better on commodities and what he developed them for. But always a great pattern. So let's go back to what we were talking about, which was AMD, I think, when we looked at here. As I said, there's always a bull market somewhere. Bull market's probably going to be in the video game industry. It's been very tough to buy high-end video cards. They've been very expensive. Sometimes it's selling for twice as much as the retail price because of the pandemic supply chain crisis. Also, these cards, again, last time, AMD and NVIDIA both have number series. I think it's 6,000 for the AMDs, and I think it's, the last ones have been 3,000 series for NVIDIA. Now it's a 4,090, which is the top of the line card at $1,600. But you can get quite a nice card from AMD now. It's not top of the line, but you can buy one for $250. I sold a card I bought from last Christmas. I sold 2 cards that I had that were old NVIDIA cards. Tell you how long ago that was. They were called 750s. They used to move up in that time frame by hundreds. Now they move up by thousands for each series. But anyway, the point of the thing is, I bought this card in 2012, and nobody had any video cards going into last Christmas. I got $100 for a card that I bought for probably $200 in 2012. So 10-year-old card, still sold for 50% of its original value, I think, at the time, 10 years later. Now, I don't think you could get a plug nickel for one of those cards. But if you had to have a video card, you had to have a video card. And last Christmas, there weren't any. So I dusted them off, made sure they worked, and happy trails to the 2 people that bought them. 877-927-6648. Anyway, as I said, video game probably going to do very well. Anyway, if you want a link to the NVIDIA demo, it runs about an hour long. Just email me at path@tfnn.com. A lot of it's kind of some techie stuff, but a lot of it's eye candy too. So you can fast forward through the sections that are that. But all I can say is when I was getting started in video graphics, I remember how long it took and how many computers it took to make the first animated short, which was about 3 minutes long. It was made by Apple, and it was called Luxor. It was a story of 2 table lamps. A smaller one, which was supposed to be the baby, and storytelling was great, but I think it only ran 3.5 or 4 minutes. but it took about 4,000 hours of computer time to make that 3.5 minutes. Now all of that stuff is done in real time. The movie that really kind of changed movies forever, of course, was 1995, 1996, with Woody and all the other gang from Toy Stories. That one took, I think, about 100,000 computer hours. And those were high-end computers at the time. Now all of that could probably be done near real time and by this afternoon with one video card, and probably done better, and done in ray tracing instead of just a few other things. But they had some really great demos during it. Probably the game that literally stresses a computer the most is Flight Simulator 2022 from Microsoft. And if you haven't seen it, it's beautiful. If you like flying, it is amazing how close to real that the physics are, and the graphics are very good. What hasn't been great is just how fast the gameplay is. It's fairly slow and choppy, even with some of the high-end equipment I had when the game came out. Again, you buy a new video card, the game's twice as fast. So the question is, will the people pay $1,600 for the new card? The next level underneath that is $1,200. And the question that everybody will be asking in the next few days, now that NVIDIA's shown a little bit of leg, will be how does AMD respond to high-end video graphics? They've really been kind of the everyman's video card. They sell stuff. In fact, you can buy one, I think we were talking about it earlier. You can buy a decent video card for $250 from them, but it's not going to play Flight Simulator, anything other than choppy. It'll remind you of a game written 20 years ago. So, well, anyway, a lot of interesting stuff going on. Now, what we've been waiting for to happen is whether or not we can get a close in the markets here at a level that breaks support. So let's take a quick look at the indexes here. What is that? S&P 500. Let's go to that. 1986. I was off a year. I knew it was fairly close. Luxor. Yep, that was the first year I went to SIGGRAPH, which is the big. I went to SIGGRAPH, which was the first year that I went, and Luxor was the movie that year. We'll be back in a minute.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
And we're back. Well, look at the S&Ps here as we check out the market already in progress over most of TFNN. Let's update these numbers here and take a look. It's kind of like playing Keno. You're waiting for the number. There we go. 38.33. We really need to get a little bit higher than that. So let's take a look at the chart. Again, we've got some nice setups out here that are potentially bullish. Again, I'm not projecting that. I know how many people out there that are bearish and saying the world is coming to an end. That's generally when I start looking at going long. I do like the fact that the retail traders are throwing their shares in. Always a good sign. They tend to throw in their shares at the lows. People tend to be the most bearish at the lows and the most bullish at the highs. Generally, it's not uncommon to want to just be a contrarian with the crowd. The biggest problem is knowing that the highs will last longer than you think, and the lows will come in lower than you would think. So generally, the problem with being contrarian is acting too soon. But 38.86 is the last low on the September 6th low. But on a double repo basis, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, let's call it 14 days on the downside with the S&P. You had 4 days to the upside. That's what you look for. We got about 5 days or 4 days to the downside now. Any close back above 3,900 would probably give you a pretty quick run back up to this gap, which goes to about 40.50. And again, 75% of the time the market's going higher, even if it's going higher slowly and then going much faster to the downside. That's still only about 25% of the time or the days that it's going down. It's almost always going up, or 3/4 of the time. It just goes up slowly and goes down fast. So the idea is to be short a much more narrow focused level and not decide that the end of the world is always nigh, because generally that's when the biggest snapbacks happen, and then they start moving back down again. So don't be too greedy. As they say, the old saying, chestnut, bears and bulls make money, pigs get slaughtered. It's always one of those things. Of course, we're waiting for the Fed tomorrow about 2. So we get that announcement, then we get the dog and pony presser at 2:30. That normally runs till about 3:15 market time or Eastern time or Florida time. God love Florida. And what else do we have? So that's kind of it. But here's your 3x3. Let's blow it up a little bit. And these are generally, I love these lines, like I said, because generally this is where you get a huge sign of strength off the lows if they can get to them and through them. Tomorrow that would be 39.06. The day after that is 38.91. And see, Friday would be what? 38.70. Of course, I'm going to say dollars to donuts. You get a close over 3,900 tomorrow, and you're probably going to see yourself rocket back up to 40.50. We don't get a decent close today. Opens up about 37.48, where we've had some considerable consternation. Here's a good example of it. We'll go back to, what is this, June 24th, really pretty much till July 20th, we were in this range. And that generally, you don't have a great number. I kind of picked an average of that 37.45, 37.48 for support that you'll get out of that congestion zone, which is what they call it sometimes. And of course, as we go into wintertime and colds, congestion not that far from happening up in the Great White North. Now, the question is, what do we get for volume today? As I said, if you get a lower close today, you're still going to have lighter volume. That could set up a fairly nice bounce. As we get ready for the end of the show, about 15 minutes, we only have 6.5 billion shares. So this is going to be an incredibly light day. As we said, Friday you had a huge day on quad witching, not uncommon, but you had 17 billion shares. Today you got about 6.5 billion shares. The old saying is, do not stay short a quiet market. And I'm not saying that Powell is going to rocket the market higher tomorrow. All I can say is if he isn't hawkish like everybody says, you probably have a very good setup to go back to 4,050 on the S&P cash. So that's the, as they like to say, these are binary outcomes, depending on how he does it. I don't like to bet on them, mostly because as a group, it's kind of easy to see where the stock market's going. If the stock market's following one or a handful of people, though, like the Fed, that's kind of out the window. And I don't tend to bet on what a handful of people are going to do because I don't know them that well. When these guys are gone, the skies will clear. We'll have a much better visibility, and I'll see how the group acts instead of a single individual. But for a little while, for the most part, the group will probably follow whatever the Fed says tomorrow. And I don't tend to bet on what a single person or a handful of people may say or do. You never know. As a group, what was it, Sherlock Holmes? As a group, people are a mathematical probability. Let me see something. Maybe I'll find it during the break. 877-927-6648. Yeah, there's a lot of end of the world speak. And like I said, as we started, probably the thing that gets me going the most is that we had Jim Cramer going short. And that generally, maybe he's just wrong temporarily. But if I had been short NVIDIA and I saw him short, I would take the opportunity to cover. That's all I'm saying. I would take my money and run. It's down about 1.2%. We're getting back there right now, 38.48. So, yeah, there's some stuff in here that doesn't look quite as bad as one would think. But this only means that we don't crash today. I'll put it that way. Today's close above about where we're at now just means that we don't crash today and into the close. Now, tomorrow, we are right at support. The next support line I see even possible is 100 points down. If he said something bad enough, I would not be surprised to see that 36 low of June 17th retested. But again, I'm not going to bet. I will react. I will not anticipate. But Jay Powell will do. We'll be back in a minute.
Vista Gold owns and operates the largest undeveloped gold project in Australia, the Mount Todd Gold Project. Vista Gold just completed their feasibility study, resulting in a 7 million ounce gold reserve. Vista Gold has all major permits approved and has retained CIBC capital market assistance in evaluating alternatives and in completing an accretive transaction. Vista Gold trades on the NYSE American and TSX under the ticker symbol VGZ. Vista Gold, executing a strategy to create shareholder value.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
As we wrap up the show for the day, again, not much going on. I think in the medium and long term. We are down 1.4%, but not uncommon. This is the second day of options rollover. This is a lot of times where you can get some visibility of what market makers think will go on through Thanksgiving, and as they put on options and take them off. If yesterday was higher, then you have about 70% chance that today is going to be lower. It seems like they'll push it up and add more calls, and then they'll drive it down and sell more puts, and then they'll be happy. And Wednesday, we get a real direction in the market. This just happens to have one where we're going to have the Fed at 2 o'clock tomorrow, so we'll see about that. Again, we only have extremely light volume, So I don't think you can make a great deal about this. In fact, 6.6 billion shares may be the lowest in months that we go out of this show. So, do we make it to 9 billion shares? That would be a very low day today, or even under 9 billion shares, as we all kind of hold our breath waiting for the Fed. So keep an eye on that. Nothing looks good here. Support levels are right here. And the next one's down 100, and then the next one after that's down another 100. So just be advised, a lot of people are short. The best signal generally that you can have is having retail traders sell their shares to find a low. We do have that in an indication, but we don't have a lot of other signals. So I will not be anticipating, but will be reacting tomorrow live after the Fed announcement. So we'll wait and see you there. Tom O'Brien is back today, so you can hang on in just a few minutes and get his market update. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. We will see you here tomorrow, bright and shiny.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible.